Let me welcome you to our concluding session of the National Education Summit for High School. My name is Ed Rust. I'm Chairman and CEO of the State Farm Insurance Company. I also serve as co-chairman of the Business Roundtable and Director of Achieve, one of both convening organizations of this gathering. I think over the last 30 hours, when we started yesterday with Governor Warner's opening comments, with the very insightful and challenging comments by Bill Gates, who defined the issue of looking at our high schools as really an issue, not an issue, but a crisis, and some things that we need to be doing. We've had some excellent breakout sessions yesterday afternoon, this morning, have shared a lot of good ideas, a lot of practices that are working, but the need is to how do we replicate those? How do we scale them? How do we build the types of structures, implement the policy that will in fact over time drive student achievement higher up and down the line of education? Let me start off this afternoon in thinking back and the issue with high school, but a key element in high school is in the area of math and science. I'm reminded it was almost 50 years ago that the Soviet Union, or then Soviet Union, shocked Americans by launching Sputnik. The United States response was immediate and it was dramatic. Less than a year later, President Eisenhower signed into law the National Defense Education Act. And a major part of that was our effort to restore America's scientific preeminence. Today, our nation faces a more serious, less visible challenge. One of the pillars of American economic prosperity, our scientific and technological superiority, is beginning to atrophy, even as other nations are seeing significant gains in the development of their own human capital, their intellectual capital. If we wait for some dramatic event, perhaps a 21st century type Sputnik issue, I would suggest it will be too late. There may be no single event, no moment of epiphany, no catastrophe that will suddenly demonstrate the threat. Rather, there will be a slow withering, a gradual decline, a widening gap between a complacent America and countries with the drive, the commitment, and the vision to take our place of leadership. History is replete with examples of civilizations that once were dominant but declined because of myopic self-determination choices or self-determined choices. I believe we're at a critical junction in our history. Virtually every major respected organization representing business, research, and education, as well as government, science, and statistical agencies and commissions, have extensively documented the critical situation here in the United States when talking about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. From measurable declines in U.S. innovations such as patents and the number of research articles being published, to the soaring number of students in Asia majoring in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. And unfortunately, to the lagging number of U.S. students interested and achieving in the areas of math and science. For most of the 20th century, the American education system provided a substantial part of the talent and the proficiency needed to sustain improvements in our way of life. In addition, many foreign scientists were attracted to pursue research opportunities in the United States because of the American scientific community and top-notch facilities and financial support that were available. Today, however, as the American economy becomes even more reliant on workers with greater knowledge, with greater technological expertise, the domestic supply of qualified workers is not keeping up with the skill demand. And all indicators suggest that this discrepancy between supply and demand of domestic talent will grow more pronounced in the future. This is right at the heart of what Bill Gates shared with us yesterday. In the face of declining interest and proficiency of American students in science, math, engineering, American industry has become increasingly dependent, some would say overly dependent, on foreign nationals to fill the demand when it comes to math, science, technology, and engineering. That is what we have been attempting to address at this summit in looking at what we need to do in changing our thinking and approach to high school education, to high school structure, in finding ways to make sure that our young people, as they go through their formal education, are getting the type of experience, the type of motivation that will indeed drive their academic achievement and maintain the preeminence of the United States. That's why the Business Roundtable and other business groups believe that the United States needs really a 21st century version of the post-Sputnik National Defense Education Act. We need to build on the foundation of No Child Left Behind with a significant focus on math and science. To get the results, we need the federal government as a partner, along with the states, local communities, school boards, and the business sector in driving this issue and achieving the results that we know are necessary to our long-term success. This summit can be a defining catalyst in getting that done. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Governor of Kansas, Kathleen Sebelius. Kathleen is the chair of the National Governors Association Education Committee. I look forward to your comments, Kathleen. Thank you.